Thank you, everybody. I'm Gemma Burgess from the Centre for Housing and Planning Research. I am not the early career researcher. I'm presenting on their behalf, so I will apologise for old career researcher style slides. Our early career project was on the private rented sector and how digital technology may be transforming the sector and supporting generation rent. The context of this is a rapidly changing landscape in which home ownership is declining. The private rented sector is expanding enormously. It has more than doubled in the last 20 years. More than 20% of the population are now private renters, particularly younger households. And we now have generation rent, that group of young people who are unlikely to own a home in the next 5 years. This is an insecure and unhappy tenure, lacking in security, a lot of unwanted moves. More than a quarter of private rented homes are non-decent. Private rented tenants show much lower levels of satisfaction with their housing than any other sector, and they have factors that affect the whole end-to-end experience of renting. So if we can unlock the potential for digital innovation in the private rented sector, we could transform the lives of thousands of households. So we wanted to know, how is the private rented sector changing? How is it working with generation rent? What is digital technology doing to support them in their rented experience? And what are the barriers to wider uptake? We did this through desk-based review. We talked to a lot of housing providers. We talked to a lot of technology providers. But we also did a survey of residents living in the private rented sector, particularly shared housing, and we talked to them about their experiences. And what we found is that digital technology is transforming 3 key areas of renting. This is access to properties, management of properties, and lived experience. Particularly for the first, there are a lot of digital platforms to help you find a rented property. There's much more use of digital platforms for landlords and letting agents to manage their properties, and there's far less use of digital technology in managing the experience of renting. Example, Ideal Flatmate, digital platform to help you find a flat, but it runs like an online dating service to help you find your perfect flatmate. The second one is Fixflow, which is a digital platform for letting agents, managing agents, landlords and tenants to communicate about repairs and maintenance. So it's an online system that also connects to contractors to make the process of repairs and maintenance more streamlined, easier. You can report your repair in any one of 42 languages. The idea being that it makes repairs and maintenance easier, cheaper, and easier for tenants in particular. What are the barriers to adopting technology and digital innovation in the private rented sector? Part of this is about lack of knowledge about technology and digital platforms, but also about lack of willingness to use it. So we talked to lots of people who are aware and not very keen, still prefer to pick up the phone. Lots of issues around trust and data privacy, particularly for tenants themselves. If we could unlock this, what would we achieve? We could reduce costs for landlords and tenants. We can make access to the private rented sector easier, and this is a sector particularly for low-income households. We could make the management of properties easier and cheaper, and hopefully drive up standards in the private rented sector. But overall, we could hope to improve the experience of living in the private rented sector, which is a growing tenure and a very unhappy one. Thank you very much.